So, just want to drop in with you guys out here. Just getting some inspiration and catching this beautiful backdrop here today. The sun is just starting to get down to a lower point where I don't have to wear sunglasses. That's been a challenge for me. Sometimes during the day I come out a little bit too late in the day and I've got to wear sunglasses or I just can't do the video. So this is the perfect time, either now or early morning, but the mornings here have actually been kind of misty, foggy. We have a marine layer that rolls in, and they call it it's the marine layer. May is May gray and June is June bloom. That's what they call it here. But that happens a lot of days in May and June. So I'm finding right now is a really great time to link up with you and connect. And honestly, today has been a little bit of a rocky day for me anyway. I woke up this morning and the same thing yesterday too. I had a little bit of a rough start both days. I got up, just didn't feel, kind of a little bit depressed. I don't know if it's just everything that's going on, maybe an accumulation of everything, but I just didn't feel very good. And when I wake up in states like that, I know that I can shift it, and I just have to get into action quickly. Because if I wake up and allow myself to stay in that place for a little while, I end up having a really bad day. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that, but it's like the moment you get up, you have to make a decision. I'm gonna have a good day, and just snap yourself out of it and into a new reality. So what I did yesterday and today was something that I think we could all practice, and maybe you already do, but I'll just share my experience with you because that's what I've been doing lately. And the thing that I did today and yesterday was, as soon as I got up and started feeling that depressive feeling, I drove myself to the ocean. I put my shoes on. I grabbed my camera, or the tripod here, and I just took off on a walk. I didn't really know where I was going to go, or if I would even turn on the camera, but I don't know. I turned it on. I started to record some things, the video of me over at the beach access at Swami's, which ended up being a lot of fun, and it just got me out of the funk and put me into a place of like being inspired or feeling inspired. And I ended up spending like 5 hours walking around and videoing things. And today I woke up in a very similar kind of a place, and this morning I got up and came down here to the beach. Hard to find parking because everybody has the same idea right now, and so I ended up driving around for a little while, but ultimately what ended up happening was I found a parking space, came down, did a little bit of movement, like some exercise, some of my core workout stuff that I do with my abs. I've shared some of that on some of the previous videos with you guys. So I found a place to sit down and do that, and from there ran into a friend who had some really positive things to share with me, and let me see if I can find us a better place over here that we can hang out for a minute. So ended up running into a friend of mine who shared some really positive feedback with me, and we're able to just kind of be a resource for each other. So it's good to find somebody who you can who you really trust, and who is also open to sharing, because right now there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of things happening out there that some people are losing jobs, some people are forced to reinvent themselves, recreate themselves, some people have to move, some people have to move out of where they're living, some people have died, some people are in critical health. I mean, there's just so many things happening. So we know that the negative stuff is always going to be out there. So it's really up to each one of us to really set our foundation and keep our core very, very strong. So like when I come out on these walks with you guys, you are my inspiration, really, because for me at the end, behind this little camera thing and doing these walks, I have a lot of information I want to share, but to access that, it really does. It takes something to really get into that flow. And when I come out and I grab the camera and the tripod, I set out with an intention to create something that could be helpful or useful for you guys. And if there's one person that finds inspiration or motivation in this beach walk or a workout video, I feel that inspires me. That feels good. That's like, yes, you've done something in the world that is of use and of value, especially in these times right now. I find myself coming out of a job which I was at for 6 months. March the 3rd, I was at a job that served me really well financially for about 6 months, and then I had to make the decision just to make an exit. It just wasn't serving me anymore on any level. I was not happy, and so I ended up turning in the notice to depart, and I went straight to the desert. Oddly enough, I went out to the desert, to Joshua Tree, to do the 10-day silent meditation retreat. Some of you guys have heard me talk about this before, and those of you that know me really well, you know this was my 3rd Vipassana, a silent meditation retreat out in the desert, and it was a really blissful experience. And what a time, what a time to come back. So like when I went out to the desert, I went in on March the 4th, and March the 4th was like this was pre coronavirus. I mean, we didn't have any of this stuff happening here in the States yet. And I went in, we're disconnected from all of the world. We're disconnected from everything. And basically you just go in, surrender your phone, and there's no talking, there's no reading, no writing, and you just go in. And through that, going inward on that inward journey and meditation for 10 hours a day, there was like all kinds of information that came through that was really helpful and useful for me. And if you are, one thing that I would recommend, if you are out there having a very difficult time with your meditations, I would encourage you to really set a timer. So start out with maybe 30 minutes, set a timer, and turn off your phone, turn off all of your devices, and put yourself in a seated position for 30 minutes, okay? And what you want to do is sit there for 30 minutes, and during that time, just focus on your breathing, your respiration, just your breath in, breath out. If the breathing is coming in one nostril, don't try to change it and make it both. If it's shallow breathing, just leave it shallow. Don't try to change it and make it hard. You're not altering anything. You're just observing the reality as it is. And that's part of what Vipassana is. It's a very beautiful practice, and it gets you to just sharpen your awareness, focus on your breathing and your respiration. And we would do segments of hour sits, and then we would go and take a break for 5 minutes, come back and do another hour. And sometimes you could take a break and go to your room and meditate there, where you could have a little bit more freedom. But the point is that you want to sit for 30 minutes, set your timer on your phone, and just commit to being there. Now, your mind's going to start dumping all this information. You're going to think about, what do I have to do tomorrow? I need to call so-and-so. All this information is going to come through. It's totally normal. Everybody gets it. The thing is the more that you do this, the sharper your mind becomes, the less distracted that you become. So there'll be times when I would sit down and just have a lot of thoughts coming through, and the thing is that the more that you practice your sitting and you're focusing on your breathing and respiration, the sharper the mind becomes, and then the thoughts can just come through and pass. They don't stick around for long. And that's ideally where we all want to get to. The more you do that, the better you start to feel, the lighter you feel, because you're not holding on to all this information. So that was a really powerful thing that happened to me On March the 4th, I went into this Vipassana. I was there until March the 17th. And on the 17th, when I came out, everything had just totally shifted. In fact, the last day, they actually pulled us aside and they said, hey, we need to brief you on the new events that are happening in the world today, so you guys are prepared when you leave here. And you can imagine it was a very scary thing to hear this information and how it had rolled into the United States in just a short period of time while we were, just disconnected. I felt like I was coming back from the Ice Age or something and back into a brand new world, which really we did. And so much is happening right now. And so I just want you guys to know that when I do these little walks, these are intentional walks. You guys have been amazing with your comments and your feedback. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to continue to make these videos because it's actually been a lot of fun for me. And the other thing is that I know that, like I said, if one person receives a message in here that resonates and you needed to hear it that day, I love that, because that means that we're vibrating at a higher frequency and we are raising the vibrations here of the planet, one video, one thought at a time. So thank you guys for sticking around with me on this video and for all your support. If you haven't already, click the little bell above so that way we can stay connected. You'll know when the next updated video comes out. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. This helps me keep this thing going. And yeah, until next time, we'll talk to you guys here soon. Sending lots of love and light to you guys. Peace for now.